Pick your payment method and wait for your delivery to arrive. It's quick. Click and pick.
Our mega 50% off discount is extended till January 31st at Istiqbal. We offer quality, luxurious, Turkish-designed home furniture. Come and enjoy our limitless range of sofas, dining, beds and mattresses, all tailored to meet your unique family taste. We bring the spark to your everyday space. Visit our Mombasa Road showroom at Panasar Center opposite Airtel and our flagship branch in Nakuru, Westside Mall. Don't miss out.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
This is NTV.
A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on NTV tonight. It is Wednesday night and this bulletin has some revelations in it that you want to know about. These are among the top stories. Tonight, the Kemsa heist, a phone call and a 50 million shilling tender.
So they called you first?
Yes.
Who is the person who called you? Even if we continue hammering it, it's like squeezing juice out of a stone.
More damning revelations. What about action and repercussions? And drama as Raila Odinga rallies his course in Githurai. Chaotic scenes and claims of sins.
Raila amefanya dhambi gani huko? Uhuru nafanya kazi peke yake. Anapiga porojo pande hii.
Increasingly polarizing politics in the name of ideals and one Kenya.
Don't tell me about Kenya, because the Kenyan dream is dead.
Also tonight, Ferdinand Waititu says political wars cost him his job. What is his political stand?
Mimi siko kieleweke na siko tangatanga. Mimi niko tu katikati, mimi niko mtumwa na hicho wa kawaida.
He says political battles saw him fall from grace and the president's favor.
Naomba msamaha kwa rais kwa sababu ya kupiga siasa.
Plus, negotiation at apprehension. Murder suspect threatened to take his own life during arrest.
NTV Tonight with Smriti Vidyarthi.
Joining us tonight in sign language interpretation is Flora Atieno. Now we begin tonight with more revelations of the ludicrous happenings at the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA. Parliament today heard that one of the companies that benefited from plum tenders to supply PPEs was awarded a 50 million shilling tender on phone. The managing director of Crown Healthcare Limited, Shilen Thakrar, defended his dealings with KEMSA and even told Parliament that an ex-MP and a member of the National Assembly's Health Committee previously worked for the company. NTV's Seth Olale brings us that story shortly in this broadcast. Elsewhere, ODM leader Raila Odinga says nobody will stop him from accessing the Mount Kenya community. Speaking as he made his maiden trip to Kiambu, where he cut a ribbon at Githurai to signify entry into the region, Raila insisted on freedom of association, calling on politicians to be tolerant towards each other. But as NTV's senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi explains, the trip was not devoid of drama, with youth at the Githurai roundabout trying to stop his speech as they shouted DP Ruto slogans.
With IEBC clearing the way for the BBI draft constitutional amendment bill to be submitted to county assemblies, politicians have now literally hit the ground running. For the better part of Wednesday morning, ODM leader Raila Odinga and his brigade made rounds in areas dominantly inhabited by members of the Gikuyu community. His first stop was Roysambu, crowds swelling to hear from him. His motorcade then snaked onto Thika Highway, heading to Githurai, a place considered the gate to Mount Kenya region. Here, Raila cut a symbolic ribbon to signify his entry into a region which some within the political circles have said was forbidden territory for the ODM leader.
Wengine wanasema tio Raila hatakikani mkoa wakati. Raila amefanya dhambi gani huko? Ubaya gani Raila amefanya? Amefanya dhambi gani? Mimi nasema uhusiano baina yetu imetoka mbali zaidi. Ilianza na wakati wa Jaramogi na mzee hayati Jomo Kenyatta.
Raila's trip to the mountain is an attempt to rally support for the Building Bridges initiative, now that the fate of the document lies in the hands of members of county assemblies.
Tutasupport BBI, tutasupport Baba na our president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Sisi watu wa Githurai na Nairobi ni BBI.
Hapa mkoa wakati ni nyumbani. Mimi nikija mimi ni mdhoniwa.
But even as he preached the BBI gospel to the mountain, Raila also lashed out at Deputy President William Ruto, whom he accuses of derailing President Uhuru Kenyatta's record in service delivery.
Mwingine anasahau manake amewacha Uhuru nafanya kazi peke yake. Anapiga porojo pande hii. Uhuru anajaribu kutimiza ahadi, yeye anapiga porojo.
However, at the Githurai roundabout, his speech was almost cut short. A section youth chanted pro-DP Ruto slogans. They were, however, repulsed by the joint effort of police and youth carrying thimbles, which allowed Raila and his entourage to carry on with their speeches.
Sisi hatutaki fujo. Na Kenya hii haina mipaka. Mkikuyu lazima aingie Kisumu. Na Mjaluo lazima aingie Kiambu.
But immediately after the speeches, the youth once again regrouped. They started throwing stones, prompting police to use tear gas until the entourage had left. And for about 30 more minutes, the crowd chanted pro-DP Ruto slogans as they castigated the BBI. The symbolic cutting of the ribbon in Githurai, according to Raila Odinga, gives him access into Mount Kenya, but now says he will be joining President Uhuru Kenyatta in subsequent meetings, as they hope to change the tide for the BBI, whose support is at an all-time low. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV in Githurai.
All right, from that, let's take you back to our top story now. And Parliament today heard that one of the companies that benefited from plum tenders to supply PPEs was awarded a 50 million shilling tender on phone. The managing director of Crown Healthcare Limited, Shilan Thakrar, defended his dealings with KEMSA and even told Parliament that an ex-MP and a member of the National Assembly's Health Committee previously worked for the company. NTV's Seth Olale now starts off this story with tonight's episode of the KEMSA heist and seek.
Barely 2 months after James Njuguna, a director of La Mwiguela Holdings Limited, narrated how he just happened to pass by KEMSA offices and won a tender worth 100 million shillings to supply personal protective equipment to KEMSA. The managing director of Crown Healthcare Limited, Shilan Thakrar, had another of those too good to be true stories.
They eventually became member of parliament.
Okay.
He told the National Assembly's Public Investment Committee, probing the 7.8 billion shillings, that his company won a 50 million shillings tender for the supply of gloves and ventilators from just a phone call from KEMSA's secretary, Pamela Kabiru.
Did they call you to tell you that we want this and this, or did they send you an email?
They both called us and followed it up with an email.
So they called you first?
Yes.
Who is the person who called you?
And I think, Chair, this is almost common to all suppliers to KEMSA, that a secretary is just being called by an individual in KEMSA that we have this and this and this. Can you please do A, B, C, D?
Crown Healthcare Limited had a hard time explaining why it went ahead to supply the 50 million shillings worth of medical equipment to KEMSA, yet it received the local purchasing order 2 months later.
Even if we continue hammering it, it's like squeezing juice out of a stone.
Humans err. To err is human. So with benefit of hindsight, we can look back and say, yes, that could have been a better way.
In an attempt to prove the credibility of his company, the besieged CEO revealed that former member of the National Assembly Health Committee, Stephen Mule, was among its former employees.
And the first question I asked is whether this member of parliament or these members of parliament influenced in any way.
The whole idea of putting that paragraph in was simply to mention that we've been there as a company for long enough.
Crown Healthcare Limited informed the parliamentary watchdog that it also supplied KEMSA with goods worth 800 million shillings in 2018 and another unspecified quantity in 2019. The parliamentary watchdog is also seeking answers as to how a number of companies were paid just 2 weeks after securing tenders at KEMSA, while others are yet to be paid to date. Seth Olale, NTV at Parliament Buildings, Nairobi County.
A story that we will keep a close eye on. All right, let's shift focus now and turn to the coronavirus numbers. And tonight, we report 130 more positive cases of COVID-19 out of a sample size of 4,918. This now brings the total number of infected people to 100,323. Now, out of the new cases, 115 are Kenyans and 15 are foreigners. One more person has succumbed to the virus, and that raises the death toll to 1,751. Meanwhile, 66 more people have recovered, bringing the total recoveries to 83,691. 28 patients are in the intensive care unit. In the counties, Nairobi continues to have the highest number of cases with 66 new infections. Taita Taveta has 18 more cases, Mombasa 9, Nakuru and Narok 6, and Siaya, Uasin Gishu, Kiambu and Kilifi all have 4 more cases. Well, at least 1 in 3 people in Nairobi has been infected with COVID-19 between March and November last year. This is one of the key findings of a COVID-19 antibody survey conducted here in Nairobi. The study also shows that half of the households in Nairobi had at least one person who had been infected. Those in the age group between 20 to 49 years were more likely to have been infected by the virus compared to children below the age of 10. Helen Aura reports.
Nairobi County has recorded the highest caseload of COVID-19, and a third of all reported COVID-19 deaths in the country have been recorded in the capital. The COVID-19 antibody survey therefore recommends that COVID-19 mitigation measures should continue because many people remain at risk. The study, conducted through random selection within the county, also emphasizes the need for an antibody study to determine the level of transmission in the country.
Antibodies are an indicator of prior infection. When you get a COVID and you have the infection and the infection is over, you get healed or cured, what the body remains with are antibodies. So that means that in Nairobi County, since the beginning of the outbreak in March to November, 35% of the population, which translates to about 1.5 million people, have gotten COVID infection.
The research mainly targeted Nairobi County due to its increasing caseload, now standing at 40%, followed by Mombasa.
Some have said at 6 months they go down, but then this disease has been there for only 1 year. We can only allow for time, and as we keep monitoring.
According to the survey, at least 1 in 3 persons in Nairobi County has been infected by COVID-19 in the 8 months since the first case was reported on March 20th. Those aged between 20 to 49 years of age were more likely to have been infected by the virus. Children below 10 years and people over 60 years had the lowest infection levels. Due to overcrowding, sub-counties such as Embakasi West, Mathare, Ruaraka and Kibra recorded the highest infection rates. Half of the households in Nairobi had at least one person who had been infected. 3 in every 10,000 COVID-19 infected individuals succumbed to the virus, indicating a lower mortality rate than other developed countries.
The children were largely at home during most of last year, and also the elderly people don't move around, but the age bracket 20 and 59 are the ones who are mostly economically active and they were moving around, and it does seem that most of infections did occur while we are doing our usual economic duties.
Helen Aura, NTV.
Regional matters now, and the government of Somalia has rejected the report of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, that's IGAD, that exonerated Kenya from claims by neighboring Somalia that Kenya was sticking her nose in her business. Somalia has threatened to withdraw from the regional body, saying that IGAD's fact-finding commission was compromised, biased and unfair. Kenya, however, welcomed the findings, saying that Somalia's decision to cut ties was uncalled for. NTV's Zainab Ismail reports on the escalating diplomatic tension between the two nations.
Just a day after the regional body, IGAD's fact-finding commission released a report vindicating Kenya over claims that she was interfering in Somalia's internal affairs, Somalia has fired back. In a strongly worded statement, the nation's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Somalia, says it rejects the outcome of the report in its entirety since, and I quote, the commission was biased, partisan, unfair, compromised and predetermined to exonerate Kenya. A statement further reinforced by Somalia's Information Minister, Osman Dube.
dadkii baa loo diyaariyay ciidamadii baa loo diyaariyay shacabkii baa loo diyaariyay soo gud baa lagu yiri waa diiday marka xamar yimaadeen baa la yiraahdaa aanu idin kaxaynoo diyaaraday saarro beled haween geeno waa diiday arrintaasi dareen bay gelis markaaba.
Somalia says she stands by her assertions and called on IGAD to withdraw the unfair report and apologizes, failure to which Somalia will consider withdrawing from IGAD. Kenya, on the other hand, welcomed the report by IGAD, noting that the allegations were unfounded and the decision by its neighbor to sever ties was uncalled for and negatively impacted the lives of Somali nationals who seek relief and amenities in Kenya. Meanwhile, the diplomatic tension has thrown miraa farmers in the country into a whirlwind. Hours after declaring that cart traders would be allowed to import miraa from any source and by any means as long as they acquired government licenses and followed proper procedures, Somalia's Finance Minister Abdurrahman Bayle said his statement had been misinterpreted and that only cart from Ethiopia would be granted entry into Somalia.
oo aan ka hadlay qaadka hereeriga oo laga yaabo dadka qaar inay khalad u fasirteen wixii aan idhi shalay waxaan ka hadlay oo aan doonaya inaan caddeeyo qaadka hereeriga ee si Soomaaliya yimaada oo dadka qaar yidhaahdeen qolay intaasuu bay muhiimad u hayd marka haddii khalad la fahmay shalay ama si khalad loo turjuntay arrintu hereeriga ay ku saabsan tahay qaadka hereeriga ay ku saabsan tahay.
The IGAD team had in its report established that the decision by the government of Somalia to sever diplomatic relations with Kenya was uncalled for, and the grievances do not appear sufficient to justify a diplomatic separation between the two countries. The African Union has since called for dialogue to de-escalate the tensions. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
You are watching NTV Tonight. It's 1:15. We take a quick break at this point, but as always, there's more on the other side, so don't go far.
Oh, yani aje, mimi ndo Jonte Fresh. Mimi ndio nimetambulika hii Gikomba yote sekta ya manguo. Jumio transform nguo dimere za mtush zenye ziuka mna hii harufu ya bail into the freshest igi kosi yote. Siri ni hii real mpya ya pink. Na kushow mtush zinang'ara kung'ara kushinda kamera. So clean, so fresh. Ma customer unaisana na hii story. Ninatumia aerial touch of down mpya tu.
New Year resolutions? Didn't you say the very same things last year?
A bit of pressure on how to unlock the new year 2021? Select a plot of value-added land within Garden of Joy gated community off Koma Kennel Road, Machakos. Now kuamue January na 21K with Optiven. Call us now on 0790 300 300. Optiven Limited. Experience the difference.
Huyu ni Miriam. Last week akakujua kanataka kuwa nini kakigrow up, lakini this week Miriam amegundua anaweza kuwa whatever she wants. Kwani kuliendaje? Maparo wa Miriam waligeta huge discount vile wale upgrade to Go TV Max. Hata wewe familia yako wanaweza get maximum entertainment for less na channel kibao za fun and educational shows za wakidi. Your little one's imaginations will run wild. So upgrade to Go TV Max for just 890 shillings leo. Go TV. Love it.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Welcome to our new office. Wonderful sight. Just imagine 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where the parking is, and then the warehouse front door here, the reception here, and the fridges here. The lorry's entrance there, and their exit there. One way only. What is it?
So where is the building?
Fast, stress-free construction. Get your factory-made buildings in 10 weeks with SafBuild. Order yours now. SafBuild, a quality building solution from MRM.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
This is Fact Finder from the BBC.
Africans in diaspora are trooping to Ghana. We look at how the media is covering the year of return.
Africa Check digs into claims about Nigeria's garbage problem. We'll tell you what they found out.
I think it cut across and affected very many people, and a lot of people are concerned.
We hear from a Kenyan investigative journalist who tells us what it took to produce an explosive expose.
And dance moves choreographed by artificial intelligence. The man behind it says it enhances dancers' creativity.
Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Admission for January, February and May intakes is ongoing. Apply now. SMS your details to the numbers on your screen. Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Welcome back. Detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations have arrested Charles Olwenye, a man alleged to have killed and set ablaze 34-year-old Margaret Mushemi last week within Nairobi's Njiru area. Olwenye was ambushed this morning at an apartment in Kayole, Nuru Abdul Aziz reports.
You have a life to live. Don't do it.
Charles Olwenye was a cornered man in a house in Kayole by Directorate of Criminal Investigation officers. The weapons he has in hand are actually to harm himself. Detectives had been on his trail and finally found him in Kayole. He had been on the run since last Friday when he allegedly killed his ex-girlfriend Margaret Mushemi. Charles Olwenye then tried to climb to the 5th floor of the building to throw himself off. The officers still tried to calm him down, with the operation now drawing a crowd. Not everyone was convinced he would kill himself.
Huyu jamaa asijirusha. Amekaa hapo sana na akona uoga sana. Ili akubali asalimishe, ashikwe, aingie na murder case.
The security officers used every means possible, even bringing in a fire truck. And finally, he gave in.
Sasa yeye anasema anataka kukufa na watu wengine. Ndio amekatalia pale juu. Anakatiwa mpaka bado kama washuke anakataa. Akona visu mbili, anashapeni hapo kisu kwa kisu. Anataka kudunga mtu.
After being talked out of committing suicide, some of the members of public wanted to lynch him after hearing he was being pursued for allegedly killing his ex-girlfriend, and that caused a bit of chaos. Police had to disperse the crowd that was baying for the blood of the suspected murderer. According to former workers of Margaret, the victim, Charles visited his ex in Njiru, Nairobi and asked for privacy. Margaret was later found tied up on her bed, burnt to death.
Habari inatukujia ati mmekaa hapa na kuna kitu inatendeka pale hivyo. Sasa tukafanya nini? Tukastuka. Huyu mwenzangu akaniacha huko kama anakuja na mbio juu sasa sisi tulishindwa ni nini zawafanyika na tumerudi akatutumia pesa. Sasa mimi nikafanya nini? Nikamfuata. Mwenye nilimfuata kuja huku mimi nilishindwa hata kuongea.
Kisha tukapata ni kama hii amekufia huko na vyombo na hizi vitu zimetolewa nje hivi. Hata hatukujua wametoa aje.
Charles was finally taken to Buruburu police station where he will be held before being taken to court to face charges. Nuru Abdul Aziz, NTV.
Well, may justice serve its course. Now to a bit of politics, and former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu is speaking out for the first time since he was kicked to the curb over corruption allegations. A humbled Waititu maintains his troubles are more to do with politics than integrity. Speaking on NTV's Swahili political talk show, Kigoda Chako, he also weighed in on the BBI debate and why it has not been well received in Mount Kenya. Naoma Sampao has that story.
For the first time since his ouster from office, former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu opened up to NTV about the events that left him in the political cold. Always a happy-go-lucky person, Waititu tried but failed to mask the strains of the allegations of corruption tugging at him and his family, and that saw him kicked out as governor. He was impeached over gross misconduct and the loss of over 500 million shillings in a roads tender scam. He still maintains his troubles are politically instigated over his affiliation with Deputy President William Ruto.
Kwanza kutolewa kwangu pale Kiambu kulikuwa kisiasa, ndio kulikuwa kumeanza siasa za tanga na kieleweke. Na mimi nikawa niko pande wa tanga.
The abrasive politician who appears to court one controversy after another says he's had plenty of time to reflect. After several months out in the cold, he has a word of caution for leaders from the Mount Kenya region who appear to be out of favor with the president.
Tuoneshane kidogo pia atutaji jina rais sana kwa mkutano, tukimtaja sasa anakaa mbali na sisi. Natoa apology, msamaha, naomba msamaha kwa rais kwa sababu ya kupiga siasa ikaonekana hiyo siasa ilienda sana. Sasa ile anasema tusipige siasa.
The former governor, however, asked President Uhuru Kenyatta to consider changing the faces of the main BBI proponents in the region.
Wale ambaye wanapigia debe BBI, hao wenyewe sura zao ni watu wa kujipiga kifua. Unaona? Na ni watu wa kuoneshana asifu hao ndio wenye rais kushinda wale wengine. Mimi ninajua isipokuwa iwe imebadilika. Lakini kwa hiyo wakati ile kitu mimi nilikuwa najua Laila ungemwamini.
He is also of the view that the president's handlers should ensure he is more accessible.
Awe na mtu tunaweza kuwa tukimfikia kama hatumfikie ule ambaye wananongonozana kila siku.
Waititu had earlier on expressed his desire to run for Nairobi governorship after former Governor Mike Sonko was impeached, but he will have to hold on to that thought after the EACC barred him from vying for public office over integrity concerns. Nayoma Sampao, NTV.
Well, he gives himself an 8 out of 10 on integrity. That sounds like an A to me. Do you agree? Let us know. Give us a tweet at NTV Kenya or at Smriti Vidyarthi. Now, health institutions remain strained in Mombasa County as health workers continue with their strike, which threatens to cripple the county's healthcare system. Today, health workers from Lamu, Kilifi, Kwale and Mombasa County held a demonstration with the hope of getting a response from the Mombasa County government.
Medics in Mombasa County have been on strike for 12 weeks now over salary delays and non-remittances of statutory deductions. Earlier today, they demonstrated from the Coast General Hospital to the county government offices.
Watu wamekuwa kwa mgomo, wananchi wanaumia, but he is in hiding. We have never seen him. We wonder what type of leadership this is. You should be coming out to meet your workers to know why they are out.
But despite the calls and demonstration today, there was still no response from the Mombasa County government.
Unfortunately, the county government of Mombasa has remained pussyfoot. They have been unable to actually give timelines that are achievable for them. And wherever we have meetings, they have been giving us promises.
Peter Maroko, the branch secretary for the Kenya National Union of Nurses, Mombasa, says health officials have tried to dialogue with the county government, but the issues they have raised have failed to be resolved.
We know the government, through the National Treasury, was able to release close to 24 billion to the counties, and as such, we know the counties have money now to be able to pay remittances in full. So we are calling upon the counties, especially the governor, to lobby their colleagues so that they come up with one achievable agreement that they can implement for us health workers.
The union officials claim that their colleagues have died in the line of duty and they will not allow members to return to work unless their demands are met. Fatma Bogo, NTV.
All right, from that story, we take another break on NTV tonight, but stay with us. Dan Wangi is here. He's got the day's business news up next.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Rely on Ramrod tanks for all your hygienic water storage solutions. Our affordable tanks are manufactured with the highest quality of virgin food-grade material. Our products are KEBS certified and come with a 10-year warranty. Call us to place an order or visit us at Ramrod Godowns, Bamburi Road, Athi River. Buy one and get free airtime. Ramrod tanks, standing the test of time.
From your first day at school to you captaining your soccer team, no matter how old you are, you'll always be my baby. That's why I trust Dettol to clean, protect, and keep you refreshed every day. I still can't believe how quickly you've grown. Dettol, tested effective against COVID-19.
NTV Business News in association with NCBA Bank.
Good evening and welcome to NTV Business. I'm Dan Mwangi. The Kenya Revenue Authority has received the green light to go for 9.3 billion shillings worth of tax liabilities from Palea Stores Limited following a ruling from the Nairobi Tax Appeals Tribunal on the 22nd of January. In the ruling signed by the chairperson, Josephine Maangi, the tribunal found that Palea Stores Limited had not complied with its statutory obligations of keeping proper records for purposes of computing tax. The 9.3 billion shillings to be settled by the firm constitutes 1.4 billion shillings in corporation tax and 7.9 billion shillings in value-added tax. Palea Stores Limited had appealed the decision by KRA in March 2017, terming the findings as excessive and incorrect. The Tax Appeals Tribunal's ruling has established that KRA did not violate the company's rights under Article 47 of the Constitution. The Industrial Development Bank, a development finance arm of the government, is now courting micro, small and medium-sized businesses to tap into its funding to accelerate growth and development. The funding, which can be accessed through secured loans with a 5 to 10 years repayment tenure, target business venturing into value addition. This applying for funding from the bank will be required to provide audited accounts for at least 3 years for the existing business or related business.
For the lowest risk client, it will be 10%, and the highest, it will be 13%. The period is between 5 years to 10, that is the standard period. We try to lengthen it. Of course, we do give even 3.
Companies can now heave a sigh of relief, or at least their directors, after the Office of Business Registration Service extended the deadline for disclosure of beneficiaries by 6 months. Companies will now be expected to be compliant by July 31st, 2021. A statement from the Director General, Kenneth Gadhuma, states that the extension seeks to enhance compliance by companies as required by Section 93A of the Companies Act. The mandatory disclosure of the beneficial owners of companies follows the adoption of the underlying regulations in October 2020. National Treasury's Cabinet Secretary, that's Ukur Yatani, has expressed confidence in the implementation progress of the commitments Kenya made at the International Conference on Population and Development Summit held in Nairobi in November 2019. Speaking during the occasion of the first anniversary of the summit, Yatani said despite the coronavirus pandemic, Kenya has made remarkable progress in the implementation of the 17 commitments touching on different areas including health, education, youth empowerment and employment. A new report by the National Council for Population and Development indicates that over 17,000 healthcare workers were trained as part of efforts toward eliminating preventable maternal and newborn morbidity and mortality. At least 4 billion shillings was also allocated to the National Hospital Insurance Fund for the Linda Mama program, which provides health insurance for maternal and child healthcare services.
But also use it as a way of stock taking on the various commitments that Kenya has undertaken. That's why we have officials from various ministries, from labor and social protection, that deals with issues of labor, population movement, the vulnerable groups, the segments. We also had report from the Ministry of Education. We had report from gender, mainly targeting on the issue of the social welfare, but also on the policies that we have undertaken in fighting harmful cultural practices like FGM.
All these commitments cannot be achieved if our programs are not evidence-based. The UN family is therefore working with relevant government institutions, such as the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, Civil Registration Services, Ministry of Health, and the NCPD to ensure quality population and health data is available and accessible in a timely manner for decision making.
So just before we close, just to point out that the proportion of the banking sector loan book that has been restructured owing to the COVID-19 pandemic crossed the 50% mark in December 2020. Data from the central bank shows that loans worth 1.63 trillion shillings had been restructured as at the end of December 2020, representing 54.2% of all loans extended by the banking sector. This was made public through the monetary policy statement issued on Wednesday afternoon, which also indicates that the monetary policy rate has been retained at 7%. That's it for business. I'm done. So is it. Good night.
NTV Business News in association with NCBA Bank.
In over 60 years of dealing with numbers, we've learned that the numbers that matter the most to you are the ones that matter the most to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Do your gums hurt? Yeah. Does your toothpaste contain sage, eucalyptus, myrrh, chamomile? All that in one toothpaste? Yes, try Colgate Herbal. Colgate Herbal contains nature's best herbs and Colgate's fluoride technology to give you strong teeth and healthy gums. Ah, Colgate Herbal. Let's go. Colgate Herbal for strong teeth and healthy gums naturally.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
I trust Dettol to clean, protect, and keep you refreshed every day. I still can't believe how quickly you've grown. Dettol, tested effective against COVID-19.
Maji mdosi wangu ametupa simu yangu ndani ya maji.
Mdosi wako kwa sawa.
Venye Nkirota ameniambia ajui na akipigia simu ashiki. Hi, guy, what the?
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
A 70-year-old man has been arrested in Makueni for allegedly killing his parents following a vicious land tussle. The suspect, identified as John Nzingu Ndibo, murdered his father, aged 96, and mother, aged 86. Rose Wangoi has more details.
Shock and grief engulfed a village in Makueni County after a man allegedly killed his parents. Residents of the quiet village of Kimakiu woke up to the horrifying sight of mutilated bodies strewn within the homestead. According to security officers, the suspect committed the murder at their family home where he stabbed the elderly parents.
Mwendo wa saa 12:30 nikaona brother yangu akiwa amejami na panga akiwa anakimbizana na mama. Sasa kumjaribu kumshika akaningeukia akiwa na panga na mimi nikakimbia nikiwa napika duru.
The suspect, identified as John Nzingu, is the deceased's firstborn son. He is said to have been engaging his parents over a 30-acre piece of land, demanding for his share.
Shida ilikuwa ya ardhi, ndio alikuwa anataka angawie wasichana wake, kila mtu eka. Na huyu bradangu alikuwa anapinga hii kitu.
According to police, the body of the mother was found in the kitchen while that of his father was in a maize plantation. After committing the heinous act, the suspect attempted to take his own life.
Alichukua kisu ya jikoni, akajikata shingo na akajidunga kwa tubo, akijaribu kujiua.
He's currently recuperating at a local hospital. Bodies of the deceased were taken to Kilungu Sub-County Hospital mortuary. Rozongoi, NTV.
Elsewhere, Acting Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu has sworn in Chief Magistrate Evelyn Olwande as a member of the Judicial Service Commission, who's also set to represent the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association in the Commission. Now, her membership comes at a crucial time when the JSC has initiated the process of recruitment for the next Chief Justice, following the retirement of Justice David Maraga earlier this month. The constitution of the JSC will also be integral as the country gears up for the 2022 general elections. Olwande beat Stella Atambo, Florence Macharia, Dolphina Alego and Teresia Nyangena to represent the Kenya Magistrates and Judges Association in the JSC during the elections held on the 5th of December 2020.
Chief Justice and a judge of the Supreme Court, big as those positions are, and considering that they sit in the apex court, is not, in my mind, bigger than the work that we do every day.
Thank you for the trust that you have bestowed in me. I call it a trust because it's not about Evelyn Olwande and what Evelyn Olwande wants, but it's about our collective aspirations and ideals. I promise to hit the ground running on the very many issues that we discussed while on the campaign trail.
All right, next up, it's the sports news. Watson Karuma is back with us and he's got all that news for you. Stay with us.
Go beyond with Kenya's fastest 4G network, Popote. Dial *544# to get your data deal of the day.
From your first day at school to you captaining your soccer team, no matter how old you are, you'll always be my baby. That's why I trust Dettol to clean, protect, and keep you refreshed every day. I still can't believe how quickly you've grown. Dettol, tested effective against COVID-19.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Did you know at Ruiru Mabati Factory you can open an account and lipa pole pole at your convenience? Did you know at Ruiru Mabati Factory, you can get customized sizes according to your roof plan to avoid wastage? Did you know Ruiru Mabati Factory offers free delivery countrywide within 72 hours? Call us now on 0111 050 700. Ruiru Mabati Factory, Mali Safi kwa bei poa.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Fancy's just for me. It really feels very comfy.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
This is Fact Finder from the BBC.
Africans in diaspora are trooping to Ghana. We look at how the media is covering the year of return.
Africa Check digs into claims about Nigeria's garbage problem. We'll tell you what they found out.
I think it cut across and affected very many people, and a lot of people are concerned.
We hear from a Kenyan investigative journalist who tells us what it took to produce an explosive expose.
And dance moves choreographed by artificial intelligence. The man behind it says it enhances dancers' creativity.
Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Admission for January, February and May intakes is ongoing. Apply now. SMS your details to the numbers on your screen. Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Welcome to NTV Sport. I'm Watson Karuma. Now, defending champions Gor Mahia climbed to 7th place on the log with 12 points after a convincing 3-0 win over Zoo FC at the Kasarani Stadium in the midweek FKFPL match. Samuel Onyango opened scoring in the first half before captain Kenneth Muguna added the second on the 32nd minute. Second half substitute Sydney Ochieng scored the third and final goal for Kogalo to send Zoo back home with neither a goal nor a point. In another tie, Ulinzi piled the misery on Mathara United, beating the Slum Boys 2-1 at the Afra Stadium in Nakuru. An own goal ensured that the Soldiers led at the break before Elvis Nandwa doubled their lead in the second half. The Slum Boys attempted a late comeback when they scored in the 88th minute, courtesy of Daniel Otieno, but that wasn't enough as they fell to their third loss of the season. Ulinzi are 8th with 12 points from 9 games, while Mathara United remain in 17th with just 4 points from 5 games. Now, the Kenya Golf Union says it is working towards ensuring that the sport is included in the school curriculum. According to KGU Chair Ben Omodo, the union has made deliberate efforts to lay the infrastructure in both private and public schools in a bid to identify and nurture talent. Omodo spoke during the NCBA Golf Series launch, which tees off on the 30th of this month at the Thika Sports Club. The 20-leg amateur series will be hosted in several golf clubs across the country before the grand finale at the Karen Country Club on the 3rd of December. The main series will run alongside the Junior Golf Series to cater for the children aged between 6 and 18 years.
We at the union are also working on expanding the space by laying an infrastructure to make sure that golf does not only live in golf clubs, but that this game spreads into schools, both private and public schools.
We certainly see this as a long-term partnership with mutual benefits for the golfers and for the bank, as well as in terms of extending our reach across the country.
Now, with Paul Otula retaining his seat atop the Kenya Basketball Federation, focus now turns to what needs to be done. For some time, the national women's team has seemed to be the men's shadow. The veteran sports administrator talks about his administration's plans for the women's game under this latest mandate.
What
we've done for men, we are going to do it better for the ladies. I want to promise the fans and basketball lovers in this country that the way to go is to ensure that our players who are in the diaspora, because our best are out there. You find some of our best players are scouted and they're applying their trade out there. So we have identified them, and around 5 are already willing to come and join us. And we want to thank FIBA because they have pushed the ladies qualifiers to May. It should have been in February, which has now given us more room to prepare and identify those ladies so that they come on board. So I want to promise the fans, where Morans are, the Lioness are also going to be there.
Let's go to England, where it's halftime in 2 of the early kickoffs. Aston Villa is leading 1-0 away at Burnley, and Chelsea, who have their new coach Thomas Tuchel on the bench, are still 0-0 against Wolves. Later tonight, we have some enticing fixtures. Brighton hosting Fulham, Everton taking on Leicester at Ewood Park, and of course Manchester United, formerly the league leaders, will also be entertaining Sheffield United. Now, last night, Manchester City climbed to the top of the Premier League table by handing West Brom another home hammering, this time 5-0. 4 goals came in the first half, with a double from Ilkay Gundogan, João Cancelo and Riyad Mahrez, with Raheem Sterling putting it beyond doubt when he found the net in the 57th minute. The result puts City a point above rivals United, who have 40. Meanwhile, Arsenal saw off Southampton 3-1 away at the St. Mary's Stadium. Southampton took the lead, but the Gunners equalized through Nicola Pepe before Bukayo Saka and Alexander Lacazette ensured all 3 points for Arsenal. In other results last night, West Ham edged Crystal Palace 3-2 away, and Leeds beat Newcastle 2-1.
It was a lovely... I'm a fan. Lacazette, Saka is in here. McCarthy well out, thought better of it. Saka punishes Southampton.
Now, that Arsenal that just won that match last night have signed Real Madrid attacking midfielder Martin Odegaard on loan until the end of the season. The 22-year-old Norwegian has struggled to make an impact in Real manager Zinedine Zidane's squad this season. Real Sociedad, where Odegaard spent last season on loan, and Eredivisie leaders Ajax were also interested. His arrival at the Emirates Stadium comes after the departure of playmaker Mesut Ozil to Fenerbahce. Now to the Coppa Italia, where Juventus take on Spal in the quarter-final later tonight. But in the early kickoff, Atalanta beat Lazio 3-2 last night. AC Milan's Zlatan Ibrahimovic was sent off before Christian Eriksen fired a dramatic late winner to earn Inter a 2-1 victory in a fiery Coppa Italia quarter-final at the San Siro. Ibrahimovic, who opened the scoring, was then booked for his part in a clash with Inter's Romelu Lukaku, with the pair former teammates at Manchester United continuing their argument down the tunnel at halftime. Inter took advantage of the extra man, with their top goal scorer Lukaku firing a 71st minute penalty to equalize before Eriksen gave the Inter Milan that win. Well, that does it for NTV Sport. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely time.
All right, Watson, thanks for the sports news. More of that, of course, in our subsequent bulletins tomorrow. Well, that is where we leave it on NTV tonight. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Flora Atieno has been our sign language interpreter. I'm Smriti Vidyarthi. I will see you again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. In the meantime, do be sure to keep safe, wear your mask properly at all times, sanitize, wash your hands and keep distance. Good night.